All right. Hello. This week's module, we are talking about therapeutic recreation and adapted sports. And I have a very good friend here. You want to introduce yourself?
Howdy do. John, I think this is awesome you're doing this. My name is Donna Rielage. I am a therapeutic recreation specialist, and I have worked within the field of therapeutic recreation for more than 30 years.
So, why therapeutic recreation? Why did you choose that path? Why did you get into it?
It's fun. I'm not going to lie. It's fun. And imagine waking up every day loving what you're going to do that day. And it's always different. It's always a challenge. Everybody's got different needs and helping them figure out how to participate in activities and different things within life. Meeting their specific needs is it's really an honor too. So to be able to impact an individual's life in different ways. So yeah, number one, it's fun. And number two, it really is an impactful service for somebody who potentially might have gone through a traumatic injury or had been born with a different way of their body or brain functioning, and finding ways for them to be included in all kinds of different activities based on their specific ability level.
So, kind of in a short nutshell, what is therapeutic recreation?
Ooh. So, therapeutic recreation is a modality under which assessments are done on an individual to determine what the needs are, not just physically or mentally, but also socially and environmentally, meaning that potentially like their home environment, if there's adaptations that need to be created. In a way, we are a combination of a physical therapist, a psychologist, mental health specialists, a tour guide. It's all kinds of different things, which is why it's such an impactful field. We can do so many things from equine therapy to fishing retreats to rehabilitation with therapy dogs within a clinical setting on a spinal cord injury unit.
So you just answered my next question, was give us some examples of what you guys do. So thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to add about physical or therapeutic recreation before we kind of move on into the adapted sports part of it?
I would actually. Therapeutic recreation is an umbrella over a whole bunch of specialties. So, as a rec therapist or a certified therapeutic recreation specialist, which is governed under the body of the National Council on Therapeutic Recreation, where you get your certification nationally. It's a big test. It's almost equivalent, like in our field, it's like equivalent to taking the bar exam for a lawyer. And it covers community service, clinical service, senior services. It covers all kinds of different environments in which somebody might work. And within those environments, you work as a team member. You work with the physical therapist, you work with the medical doctor, you work with the surgeons, you work with the social workers, with the family of that individual. And so the umbrella of therapeutic recreation is one of a treatment team medically. Now, in the community, that umbrella can include also somebody getting a specialty, say in dance therapy or art therapy or equine therapy, or different specialties under that umbrella of therapeutic recreation. So as a CTRS, you are educated on and qualified for and do continuing education yearly to keep learning about all these different specialties and to be able to have those in your toolbox as a professional. So therapeutic recreation, I think, is one of the most powerful fields that are out there as far as whole health and guidance on an all-inclusive, holistic lifestyle. accessible to everybody, no matter what their needs are. So that TR umbrella is a great one.
So I know that you referee wheelchair rugby. Are there other sports, adapted sports out there that you're aware of or that you're involved with?
Yes. So yeah, I've been an international official for wheelchair rugby. When that sport started, it was called Murder Ball. And there's actually a documentary that won awards on that movie, on that documentary, Murder Ball. So with that, we have a therapy dog in training here. So if you see me wiggling around, she is working on her manners. And Frankie, sit. And so Murder Ball is actually, well, not just because I officiated it, but it is one of my favorite sports because you see in that documentary with four limbs affected, many people think that their lives are so incredibly limited now. Well, wheelchair rugby is a full contact sport. It's a Paralympic sport, and it is intense training. And it is open to people not just with spinal cord injuries, but missing limbs, Guillain-Barré, different congenital things that might have affected all four limbs. And it really is an incredible outlet for people with those level of injury that you might not think you'd ever be capable of because of the perceived limitations in a body. So wheelchair rugby, yes. There's also bocce, and that is a Paralympic sport as well. There's also biathlons, so that involves shooting and cross-country skiing. There is wheelchair basketball, there's wheelchair football, there's wheelchair softball. So there are a lot of different sports that include the use of a wheelchair. There's also sports that are for people who are visually impaired, for example. One of them is goalball. And to make sure that everybody is on the equal playing field, pun intended, the vision has to be equalized amongst everybody. So whether you have macular degeneration or whether you have an injury to an eye and you're blind in one eye or whatnot, the sport is played completely blind. So blindfolds are worn and equipment is utilized like this goal ball. So you can actually hear where the equipment is going and coming from, as you're trying to get the goal. There's other pieces of equipment that are utilized in sports. And then there's also all kinds of adaptive outdoor activities. One thing that we do here at AllenForce, I run a nonprofit organization. We'll probably talk about it in a minute. We do a lot of healing and activities out in nature. And those sports out in nature, you might not think of fishing as an adaptive sport, or you might not think of hiking as an adaptive sport or rock climbing as an adaptive sport. But there are adaptations that can be made to make sure they are inclusive of everyone's needs. And we have some equipment we call our vet tank chairs. If you look up AllenForce.org, you'll see a picture of one of our vet tank chairs under the vet tank program. And you'll see how this off-road, the treads on it in my civilian brain, it makes me think of a tank, a little miniature tank. But that it is all terrain and it can get you from point A to point B, whether it's across a stream, over ice, through sand dunes, across fallen branches in the woods. So we utilize those in a lot of our programs. So as far as adaptive sports, there are many traditional sports like we named softball, basketball, but there are also the other sports that are more recreational sports that I don't want anybody to forget about as well, like the fishing and the hunting and just hiking, backpacking. So lots of different adaptive sports out there.
All right. So I'm going to feel really weird asking this question since I've been working with you for 10 years, but what's AllenForce?
So AllenForce is a nonprofit organization, 501c3. And we serve veterans, military veterans, and their families. The military veterans are from all eras. we serve them through therapeutic recreation, and that is all encompassing. So whether it be a fitness program with a gym, like a fitness gym, or whether it be outdoors, fishing and hiking, or whether it be overnight retreats supporting somebody's mental health or recovery. Our programs are in support of sobriety as well. And we serve the community and the veterans who have served our country for our freedoms, as well as their families who support them on the home front. So our mission, I guess, if you look up our AllenForce.org website, is serving veterans of all eras and their families through health, fitness, and recreation.
So tell us about some of the vet rec experiences that you guys have put together and our veterans have come and been a part of. What's your favorite one? What are a couple of your favorite ones?
Oh my gosh. One that comes to mind immediately is a collaboration we have with the Jeep Club. So we do an off-roading event every year, and we communicate out to the veterans and their families to come out to a variety of different places. It is hosted each year, but to go out and experience off-roading. We bring our vet tank chairs out there. They bring all the Jeeps. And we spend the day out on these trails and cliffs and crazy terrain and with the professional drivers. The coolest thing is through AllenForce, the veterans we serve primarily have some sort of injury or permanent disability after time in service, whether it just be from the compression of the spinal discs in the heavy equipment that they drive regularly, or whether it be like a specific traumatic wound, injury. But to see people get into the Jeeps and get into the vet tank chairs and go through the creek beds and over the rough terrain and whatnot, that we do off to the side as well. There was an experience I had. There was a veteran that got into the vet tank chair, and his eyes went from just being excited to get into the vet tank chair to when he started manipulating the joystick on it and it started rolling along and the treads were gripping the earth and he was compressing all these uneven terrain and he was just conquering the environment, basically. His eyes shifted from this excitement to all of a sudden, boom, it was like he was remembering protocol in the military. I found out afterwards he was a tank driver in Desert Storm. And he started going through, or a vehicle similar to that. He started going through using our vet tank chair, saying, okay, you do the 90-degree approach, you put it in reverse, you lock down the pegs that cement you into the sand so you can then fire the missiles. And like he just started, boom, rattling off all the commands. And it was just incredible. And he finished. And he looked at me and he got this biggest smile on his face. He's like, I have not felt that powerful and that excited in years since I got out of the military because of my injury. And it was just incredible to be able to provide this kind of a service to bring back that endorphin experience again, in a positive way. So that's one of the things that come to mind. Another thing that comes to mind are the activities we have for our She-Force program. And it's not anything in specific as far as, well, I'm talking about, you asked me about vet rec. So I'm jumping ahead maybe. But another vet rec program, an activity in general that comes to mind is just our family movie nights, where we also incorporate dinner and karaoke and a bonfire. It's just a time to hang out and enjoy the camaraderie together with other people who have served in the military and their families that support. The kids come, the adults, the grandparents. It's a lot of fun, the intergenerational bonding because of that common thread of the military.
So I've helped out and been a trainer in Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies. So can you just kind of go through, why is it Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies? What's the connection? Why does physical fitness help with mental fitness?
Well, I'm not a physiologist, but there is science behind all of this. So the specific effects, I mean, everybody's heard of like going for a blood test and having your cholesterol measured, or, listening to your heart rate and your resting heart rate versus your active heart rate and exercise heart rate and whatnot. So, I mean, there's the physiological things that we talk about. So obviously there's health, there's weight loss, there's strength building, things that go with working out. But then you get into the brain health too. And there's the endorphin release, the hormones that are involved, which create a sense of well-being and create a sense of confidence. And the most incredible thing is just seeing that holistic connection for mind, body, and spirit. We actually teach to 8 dimensions of wellness. But for Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies, with the 3 components of that program, we have the health club membership, which provides the weightlifting ability or the track or the swimming pool or whatever that health club is provided, is equipped with. We also have the personal training part, John, that you've obviously been a part of the last 10 years with your specialty and adaptive training. And that helps the injured veteran to be able to get together with the trainer and operate safely, where they would have specific guidance on the activities that they're doing and be able to work along. Frankie's pulling the goal ball and playing soccer with it, the dog. But to be able to provide that safe guidance for somebody to be able to exercise without re-injuring themselves. And then there's the monthly networking events, which gets all the veterans, because exercise is really an independent activity in a lot of cases, like in a gym with weightlifting. But it's fun to all get together to be able to enjoy the camaraderie. And then you can have the graduation from your 10 sessions and get your t-shirt or your 15 sessions and learn more about nutrition and health-based activities that you participate in all together.
So in your veteran community, so there's that connection, that physical connection and that mental connection. So the class that we're talking about right now is adapted PE. How do you think that would transfer over into, say, an autistic student or somebody that has never been included in general population PE class to be able to get in and work out and play among friends?
Oh my gosh. The mental health benefits alone of that inclusivity. I mean, any of you can think about a time when, gosh, you think about middle school or high school or whatever with the cliques and just not feeling like you're welcomed or you're belonging, or people are talking behind your back, or, you're different. So being able to be included in that inclusivity, it is life-changing, literally, for mental health, for physical health, for emotional, spiritual. I mean, you can go around the whole wellness wheel and all the dimensions of wellness that it impacts. So that inclusivity is incredible. So whether it be somebody who has autism or Down syndrome, to be able to go work out at a gym where there's other people who are, powerlifting for a competition, on a high level, just to be able to see that gives them some foundation also, and maybe some people to model after, whether or not they want to compete in a powerlifting competition. But there are things out there that are available, especially through Therapeutic Recreation, where they can compete in different things, whether it be with the general public, with being inclusive, or whether it be in categories for specific reasons that might be needed, so they can be competing against people with their specific abilities as well.
All right. So just real quick, in about 30 seconds, what's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is trying to think of how to phrase it. It's twofold. It's getting up in the morning and being excited to be able to go make a difference in the world. And I'm getting emotional. And it's going home at night knowing that I made a difference. So in a way, some people call that it's a selfish thing. It makes me feel good to be able to provide that kind of feeling of whether it be inclusivity or whether it be accomplishment. Like, wow, even though I have a spinal cord injury now, I can still play basketball. Or whether it be, wow, even though I have to take from my traumatic brain injury and multiple polytrauma from the military, I'm on all these different medications and it's affected my balance. It's affected my speech. It's affected my memory. And I don't feel like I can contribute as, a spouse in a relationship as effectively as I used to be able to. But holy cow, I found this thing that I can do completely on my own and now bring my family into it and show them how empowered I am. So even though it's selfish being able to have this feeling as a CTRS, I made an impact on somebody's life and it helps me to feel good. Being able to witness those transformations is a gift. That was more than 30 seconds.
That's all right. So one final question. To your best knowledge, who's the only person that you know that almost ran over a Nazi in a vet tank?
All right, let's put this into perspective.
Probably should.
There's a World War II reenactments. They do them around the country. So World War II reenactment out in Rockford, and they literally have reenactors dressing up in American uniforms and in German uniforms. Thus, John's explanation of Nazi. They have the patches, they have the German accents, they go all out, and they really are immersing the public who comes to see these reenactments in what it must have been like. So that's what John's referring to. And you're the only person I know that has done that.
I'm actually here wearing my vintage vinyl shirt, and it's like, you can't really ever stop being a punk rock guy. So anyway, Donna, thank you so much. Obviously, I appreciate your passion, and hopefully our students will appreciate it too. And it's just one more avenue outside of a classroom or a gymnasium where we can take adapted PE and therapeutic recreation and sports and really make a difference in the lives of people that really need our help.
Absolutely. Can I end this with a couple trivia things? All right.
Go ahead.
So I have here. Woo! So we have adaptive goggles we use to teach about visual impairments. That particular one was macular degeneration, which, if you relate it to the military, can be an effect that those who work on aircraft carriers or in other environments that are exposed to fumes, I'm combining two things, fumes, and different things that affects the eyesight. So we teach about how to empower somebody with different eyesight. Here's something we do. We teach military lingo. Any ideas what this means?
Well,
come on. Anyone? Push-ups. That's what it means. We also have, I showed you the goal ball. We have all kinds of equipment when somebody does have different injuries or grip issues and whatnot. If you can't function with everyday equipment, there's all kinds of adaptive equipment like this really cool knife. You can fillet a fish with this when we're out fishing. You can cut potatoes. You can do whatever. There's different tools out there. And then, of course, I'm actually rolling around. Let's see, put the camera down a little bit. We've got the wheelchairs that we use. This one is not one of the rugby chairs. Those are literally built. Gosh, think of Mad Max from Thunderdome with these steel welded on all around it so you can crash into each other like demolition derby cars. So, but yeah, I just wanted to show you some of the fun stuff that we do in some of our workshops. And we do them at Harper.
Hey, do you loan equipment out to people if they need it?
We do. So we have our vet tank chairs that we loan out, and then other things if needed, like the adapted equipment, depending on someone's qualifications to utilize those. We loan that out as well. So we do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Donna. And for students, if you'd like more information about AllenForce, it's allenforce.org. Um, all the great stuff that Donna and friends have been able to accomplish. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you. And one thing I didn't mention is AllenForce is named in memory of my dad, who is in the Army. So it has been a pleasure doing all of this in his honor. So, John, what you're doing here, bringing all this information to the students is fantastic. You guys got a great teacher. Thank
Yeah.
you, John, for including me.
Thank you, Donna. See ya.